Test. 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 There we are. Yep, there goes the notification. For me. Okay. Let's give about a minute, and then I'll get into like my little list here I got going on. I'll tell you how long these things go. So, let's give about a minute. Making sure I got the audio good. Hardest part of these things is actually starting them, and once I start them, I'm like, God damn, why did it take me so much effort and time to start it? Alright, let's get some frisket out, because we're going to protect a bunch of areas of these colors here. Because what I want to do... I shouldn't have that much. With this little liquid latex here. I'm going to protect a bunch of areas of my fireworks displays here, and then ideally is going to be tearing that off. So I want to put some dark colors in the background. This is how you warm things up, you know. You start talking about the project you're working on, because there's not much to say about it usually. I mean, it's not like it's a fucking movie going on right now. Alright. On nips. Activate. Hey, Dalen. So, I came across this video. It's called TikTok Ruined Hobbies. And then, when I was going through like my homepage, because I like going through my homepage now, because, you know, once in a while I'll recommend something interesting and good. And I came across another video called, like, Hobbies Are Destroyed by Greed. And then I came across another one later, like a week later, called, like, Hobbies Have Been Destroyed by TikTok. And I'm like, didn't I see this video before? Why does it seem familiar but different at the same time? And then I just did a search. TikTok destroyed hobbies, and it's just like video after video after video after video. The exact same topic. Same kind of thumbnail. Same kind of fucking you know, aesthetic. The person in the center. Kind of made like a glitchy version of it for the stream here, just because it was just like all of it combined at once. It's so goofy. It's like how many? It's like I get it, you know. One video takes off of that title, and this is like these are all like within like a month apart. These aren't like years or anything. This is just, you know, a week later another video of that kind comes out, and a week later another one comes out. It's like they're all getting the same kind of advice from the same types of advice YouTube channels. See what's popular. Copy that. Try to do it better. It's like no wonder fucking randomly generated videos are taking over fucking YouTube. Because they got a bunch of creators acting like NPCs. I mean, am I guilty of it now just because I'm feeding into it? Because I titled this just because I want to try to take advantage of it myself. I don't know. It's usually... I'm so fucking backwards business-wise. Because usually when I see like everyone doing the same thing, and I have like a video idea and I look it up and like a million people have done it already, and done it well, I have like the exact... It repulses me. Not, well, repulses. It repels me, excuse me. I don't get fucking sick looking at it. I'm just like, well... It's like there was a trend at one point of people taking anime and making music videos, which I'm sure still happens. I'm sure still people do that. And I was doing that quite a bit too. I was taking Final Fantasy footage and World of Warcraft footage and making music videos out of them. And I decided I was going to do a Wolf's Rain music video with the Metallica song of Wolf and Man. But then then I did a search on YouTube, and this is even back in 2008, 2006 almost, I would say. Yeah, 2007, around there. And there's just like hundreds of videos with that song and that anime. And like, okay, I think I'm done doing this kind of video work. It's like, what could I possibly do differently with this song and this anime that no one has done outside of like making my own animation? All right, I hope this is well covered. It's going to, I don't know how long this shit takes to dry. I gotta look this up. I mean, I can just paint right back over it, but it's still, you know, still going to be a pain in the ass. I can't really tell where I put things and where I don't on this. I kind of feel like I should have put more blue here and there, but that's fine. We can lighten it up afterwards. In fact, we're going to put some here. Just protect these areas. Alright, that should be good. And I gotta change my water because I put fucking Frisket liquid latex in there. Hold on. But that's just the first thing I had on my mind. It's just like when one video topic gets touched on, a million other people have to do it in their own, not even like a unique way. Because I've seen a couple of these videos and they pretty much play out the same, using similar clips. It's just ridiculous. I'll be right back. 1 minute. Alright, so that was one thing I had in mind. I wanted to just, I don't know, rant about a bit, because it's kind of like a nuisance. It's almost like a plague of the same videos going out. I wonder what other topics are going to come up a million times. I just don't think, like, when I see, like, one video taken off, I'm like, I don't think of, like, ripping off that video, so to speak. Unless they do a poor job of covering the topic. Like, that's one of the reasons why I'm still motivated to do a moral oral breakdown. And the Plague Dogs project I'm working on is because, like, most people just cover the plot points of the movie. Or just emphasize some of the disturbing scenes on there. And mine is not even a review. I call it a reflection. And how it relates to, you know, real world histories and experiences with people, and what happens when you're dehumanized. And you might as well just be a couple dogs roaming in the fucking wilderness, in the case of some of these people that are victimized by the capitalist machine that our major powers, you know, fuel. I can't even imagine, you know, you give up everything to become a refugee. Try to claim refugee status in another country because you're going to either be killed in your current one or you're just completely destitute, only to be thrown back there as like a last-ditch effort. Like, I'm trying to get out of here, but because some asshole decided that, you know, you must just be coming there to do crime or some shit, because that's what you're going to focus on. I just want to do crime. That's why I threw away everything in my hometown and got on a ship, made my way to another country. Okay. I'm just getting paranoid with this shit. Okay, I hope it's covered. How long does this take to dry? How long do you take to dry, Frisket? Must find out now. Art masking fluid. Dry time. 15, 30 minutes. Alright. It is 8:50. Let me up or late. Alright. So I normally wanted to avoid doing videos while I'm, painting here. This is one exception. Because I need the context for this. The context needs to be here. Because CBS came out with a report and I want to get it on here before it gets pulled or some shit. Man, it's a good thing I linked it. Because I don't remember the fucking title for it. Let's go to my Google Doc. Google. Oh my god. Never mind. Guess I'll just drop it here. That'll make it easy. At least you think it would. Alright. Live chat. Link. This is going to actually link it? Okay. I don't want to go to the channel. I want to go to the, the fuck? Jesus fucking Christ. That was not the fucking link. Wait, that literally was the link I dropped. There it goes. Let's not double it up.
This new year also marks a new chapter for CBS Evening News. Starting Monday night at 5:30, you will be seeing Tony DeCopel in the anchor chair. He has a message for you, the viewers.
Yeah, give us the message.
A lot has changed since the first person sat in this chair, but for me, the biggest difference is people do not trust us like they used to. And it's not just us, it's all of legacy media. And I get it. I get it because I've been hearing about it from just about everybody for more than 20 years as I've traveled America on this assignment or that. My mom's neighbors in West Virginia, my own neighbors in New York City, thousands and thousands of conversations in between. Sometimes people want to talk to me about our coverage of NAFTA or the Iraq War. Other times it's all about Hillary Clinton's emails or Russiagate. Or more recently, COVID lockdowns, Hunter Biden's laptop, or the president's fitness for office. The point is, on too many stories, the press has missed the story because we've taken into account the perspective of advocates and not the average American.
Well, what does the average American know? I mean, that's so broad of a topic, right? What does the average American know? About what? About a serious issue? Wouldn't you want to talk to someone who's an advocate, who's someone who's, making it their cause and their focus? So we're just supposed to take into account everyone's opinion? Despite facts, despite statistics and logic and all that shit? Oh yeah, I guess I should give the context before we go further, but CBS just got bought out by some fly fucking Trump supporter. And so now they're going to kowtow to the propaganda machine here. So it won't be surprising. It's like, a lot of times Democrats will continue a lot of shitty conservative policies when it comes to immigration and social issues. But, they'll never, then they don't like to report on that sort of thing. Like the fact that Obama deported more people than Trump. Because, hey, it makes for stations like this, it used to be, it made Obama and Biden look bad. And Republicans wouldn't want to report on it because it would make them look good for their base. So that's that there. So that's why we're getting this little like weird apology that's kind of like obviously leaning towards one thing and criticizing one thing.
Or we put too much weight in the analysis of academics or elites and not enough on you.
Why? I mean, that's the one thing that got me. I want to get into it in a minute, but academics and elites, just put a pin in that.
And I know this because at certain points, I have been you. I have felt this way too. I felt like what I was seeing and hearing on the news didn't reflect what I was seeing and hearing in my own life, and that the most urgent questions simply weren't being asked. So here's my promise to you today and every time you see me in this chair. You come first, not advertisers, not politicians, not corporate interests. And yes, that does include the corporate owners of CBS.
Oh yeah, sure thing, buddy. Sure thing. I'm sure when the executives like, you know, give you a ring and tell you to pull a story or pull a fucking article or pull a video, you're gonna be like, fuck you, and play it anyways, right? This shit's so fucking ballless and tepid. I'm so, you know, despite everything, you have to be glad the fucking internet eventually just eliminated all fucking politeness and decorum and how you conduct yourselves, because these fucking anchors already act like fucking machines to begin with. You can't swear, can't use naughty words, can't get passionate, can't get angry, can't get sad. Just robotically recite a bunch of lines in a teleprompter. You know, anyone with a little bit of practice could do that. And have as little personality as possible. Yeah, I get it. I don't want everyone's opinion on something that's happening as they're reporting it all the time. I do kind of just like, I do like having just the straight up like facts of what happened in an incident or what's going on in a, you know, political situation. But even then, they end up framing things dishonestly.
I report for you, which means I tell you what I know, when I know it, and how I know it. And when I get it wrong, I'll tell you that too. It also means I'm going to talk to everybody and hold everyone in public life to the very same standard. After all, I became a journalist to talk to people. I love talking to people about what works in this country, what doesn't, and not only what should change, but the good ideas that should never change. I think telling the truth is one of them. I'm Tony DeCopel, the anchor of the CBS Evening News. Hold me to it.
Tony's first order of business, touring the country, reporting your stories. He'll be visiting 10 different cities over the next 2 weeks, and that includes a visit here to the Twin Cities. That's on Tuesday, January 13th.
Oh boy. So yeah, the major thing though, let me get this off.
Hi, it's Monday, January 19th, 2026. You're tuned into Why America.
Yeah, later. So yeah, kowtowing to academics and experts. Okay. Why? Why is that a bad thing? And what do you mean kowtowing? I mean, if you're talking to an expert and related to a topic, wouldn't you want that? Wouldn't you want an expert on that said topic? I think the go-to example for me for the longest time is going to be just the fucking dentist. You know, you go to a dentist, you want to get your teeth cleaned. You want an expert dentist, right? You don't want a mechanic. You don't want to Google it yourself to try to figure out how to remove your own teeth or clean your own teeth or do fillings, right? I mean, who's going to be more trustworthy in terms of dentistry? A dentist, someone who makes it their study, who got a degree, license in this case, practice, I didn't realize my mic was down so low. Alright. So that was the thing that got me. The fucking kowtowing to academics and experts. Like, why? Why is that a bad thing? Like, what do you mean kowtowing? Kowtowing to facts and reality? So as I was saying, because I know the music was playing over it, the dentist is going to be my prime example for this all the time. When you go to a dentist, you want your teeth cleaned. You want an expert dentist, someone who's made it their study, who got a degree, who went to school, or do you want a mechanic? Do you go to your mechanic for your dental work? Do you go to Google and do some Google searching? Like what sense does any of this make? Ooh, I missed an entire spot here. Oh well, I'll fix that. And his tail is going to be a little more red than his shirt. It calls for it. Like, chances are, even if you go to the worst dentist in the world, chances are the dentist is going to know what to do with your teeth than any person on the street. It's like, what is he? And it's left open-ended so much that it's like, what experts and academics are you talking about? Like, when it comes to, like, I don't know, climate change? You know, the reality that a lot of our ecosystems and environments are fucked, and that's why you're having, like, these world, once-in-a-lifetime weather events happening multiple times for a lot of people. Like, so many people saw Blade Runner 2049 with the seawalls in California, keeping the ocean out, in Florida and shit like that, and a bunch of people said, yeah, we want that. That's what we want to see. We want that future. That future looks tight. Future looks dope. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to keep track of time. Hey Siri, set timer for 20 minutes.
20 minutes starting.
Alright, my first kit should be dry by then. We'll see. We'll see if I fuck it up or not. Well, this guy's got black. What's his blue? Is this blue eye? He's got a blue eye? Okay. Alright, clean up some of these canvases here. This here like that. That's a little too much water. There, lay that on thicker next time. Barely see these. That's low res pictures. Alright, well, let that sit there and dry for a bit, but he's got black. So really dark. Some of his hands can stick out a little bit. I'm gonna paint those hooves brown. Rather orange because of the light from the fireworks. Alright, what else you got? And these little tufts here. Yeah, less water. That got the dog going. Quizzy, come in. I got to finish this before I leave. Before I walk away. Okay, I can walk away now. Come on in. Yeah. All right. Where was I? Ugh. Darken up these areas here. The cop stash. But what was I saying here? So yeah, that I don't know. That CBS shit really like irked me because this whole idea of like shirking academics and experts, the people that actually know shit, like doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm gonna make sure I tell my nephews too the grand advice, the 3 things or 4 things, right? 4 most important things to do for yourself is 1, be skeptical. 2, think for yourself. 3, think critically. And 4, accept the fact that you do not know anything. And that's what it comes down to. It's just, I don't know, it just drives me nuts. Like, what are we doing here? Why? Why, America? I also can kind of get... I'm not in a hurry or anything for this mission, but I do really, really, really want to get it done. Because I know I can get back to my other commission here, but also juggle that with my book. My all ages book. Alright. Let's get a bit of brownies. Browns. I'm kind of always nervous to lay it down too thick. But this is a small area, so get the other brush out. I guess his eyebrows are gonna be red. Read. That was a weird noise I made. All right. It's fine. Alright, what's next here? Yeah, that's pretty much all I had, really, for today to talk about. Was just the CBS shit. Oh yeah, nostalgia. That was the other thing that came up a lot in my feed lately. People all of a sudden are being nostalgic for, like, 2016. And there's come out all these weird AI videos and shit. Like, remember 2016? Remember 2016? Remember what they took from you? And it's just like every fucking 10 years there's always something like that. Remember what they took from you. So it's fucking embarrassing. I'm glad my nostalgic period only lasted a few years. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh man, that brings me back. And at the same time, I never felt like some kind of like cultural thing where it's like something was lost. You just grow up and start doing adult things. So like, what the fuck are people nostalgic for? Or like what, when their lives were a little more simple? When they could just ignore everything because mommy and daddy were taking care of it? Like, that's what I'm thinking of. Like, do they really think like nothing was happening the entire time when they were growing up? Because you got a lot of these people from the 90s. With the same kind of attitude, like not even 10 years ago. Acting like there was no fucking political turmoils and grievances happening in the 90s for a lot of people. Like, oh, I don't know, the end of cash welfare under Clinton, the crime bill under Clinton, the war on drugs from Reagan, the AIDS crisis from Reagan, the trickle-down economics from Reagan, the deregulation from Reagan. A lot of things from Reagan. And Bush. But mainly Reagan. And Clinton. It's like, goddamn. Alright. Let's darken this up. Boop. Okay, I gotta stop working the paper here and let it dry for a bit. Frustrated, work on the other character. He's got this black leather coat. And a lot of black, I just realized. Oh well. Yeah, it's like, when it comes to nostalgia, it's just a lot of people are just nostalgic for their simpler life, you know, under their parents, and entertainment. Yeah, remember Pogs? Remember Star Wars? Remember Transformers? It's like, acting like they want it back too, you know? Like, how? What makes you think you can have it, whatever it is, back? What do you think you're missing? I'll get over that shit real fast. It's like, kind of happy with the way I am right now. And then, the world sucks, but the world sucked back then too. You can only, strive and hope that it gets better. And try to leave it better than you arrived at. At least in terms of like conditions for your next generations. Got black leather, black fur. I'm just trying to change the shade here a little bit, trying to separate the two, really. But he also has a green hair. Add some more water to that. Alright. Let's figure out his chest here. Probably add a little more yellow to it. T-shirt launcher, yes. Alright, so it's chest, you got this green. Try not to mix up with the other brown, black here. Got some weird green scars. Boop. Oh shit, what color are his pads going to be? Well, I'm not at the point of no return, so I can always change it up. Alright. So I don't know, I guess we'll try this this kind of blue-gray got going on here. What are we going to do for his claws? Make those probably white. Pull you up here. So yeah, I think I'll probably end this soon here, because that's pretty much all I had. It's just, reminiscing. Like, I don't know, man. Is being nostalgic for something that was just 10 years ago. I get it. There's a lot of young people that are, again, growing up around that time and they're hitting their 20s. It's like, I'm sorry to break it to you, man, but it's not all that fucking different for anyone else. There's more, the more I learn about history, the more I learn about things before, the more I realize that the more things change, the more they stay the same. That old bit. Like, I was just, watching a little news expose on a bunch of people in Detroit who were facing poverty and homelessness because the plants were closing down during 80s Reagan America. And people were wondering what they're going to do when their cash welfare runs out, because they used to have cash welfare back then. Some people still think that's a thing, but it's not. They're idiots. You have the bridge card and food stamps, and that's it. There's no, like, fucking cash welfare. I'm sure there's still idiots out there that just think that's how it works. Anywho, this is funny to me because, like, similar shit's happening in other areas, too. In this era. In this decade. And it's like we're doing the same fucking shit again in different cities. With different companies. A bunch of people facing layoffs. Tyson, the chicken poisoning company. As far as I'm concerned, that's pretty much what they're going to be in the future, probably. As the FDA loses its regulation powers. They, you know, just laid off an entire town's worth of people. And, like, everyone in this one town was reliant on this employment for this company. And now it's gone. You know, same shit, different day, different year. Yeah, we all hate it. Oh, what's his hands? He's got... Oh, fuck me. Okay, so his right is kind of green, and then his left is just black. Yes, I get my friskets dry. Okay, I'm kind of dyslexic with this shit. So, his right is greenish, his left is blackish. Got it. And his claws are white. So you know what? His claws down there are going to be white too. Alright, too much water. I'm just going to layer it up a bit. I need less water. Because it's looking too blue. I need to make it more black. But I also don't want to blend it into his leather coat. I think it's I think I'm kind of getting it there. The problem is not what kind of matches his aesthetic here. I just add a little more black to this side now. It should be dry enough. It's getting nothing but colder out right now. Or whatever, rock.
So here's the funny thing about California, right? So outside of Ohio, those flights to California are pretty fucking cheap.
Oh, they are. It's ridiculous. It's like $86 to go do that.
Yes.
You can't keep Derek and I away. We're going to visit.
Yeah. Like I was like, I need to visit Sacramento and do like an actual like house walk and shit with CraftyAndy. Like, oh, it's gonna cost us like $2,000. I look at the price, like, why is it only $75 to $88 for a plane ticket?
It starts from
It's like we literally could fly out on a Friday night, fly back on a Sunday night. It would cost us maybe $200.
There we go. That's a little more better. Okay, we need the darker green. Where is my green?
But when the house goes up, it goes up. If it sells before we get out, Like, it's this one. It's okay, it's okay. Sure, that's let me just,
Yeah, clean up the floor a bit.
Like this. People like
Alright, it's way too green. I don't think I had anything else really to go over today. I just wanted to vent for a bit. And, you know, I like to keep these streams up, so, and keep them interesting and engaging, rather than just what I was doing before. It's one of the benefits of having some time to yourself off. But yeah, so I got major plans is the Plague Dogs video I'm working on, the reflection, not a review. The Bird Boy video, because no one talks about that, at least not that I can find that's interesting to me.
oh yeah.
And then got a story of a person I know who survived Exodus. You know, the ex-gay torture camp shit. There we go, I think we're getting it here. Let's add more black. I think this will work. Yep, that kind of matches there.
Squishy. Too squishy for my liking.
these hide that went through. We were over with my mother will cycle and realize that like, oh, how can we make that evolve
How can we make it bigger? Well, I can print it bigger.
better? No, she would say that.
Oh, that's perfect. I'm gonna make it a file.
This really wasn't much room for that. What else we got? Oh yeah, his right paw had that green going on. So that works. What about his face? So his horn is green. That could just be the aesthetic choice here. It's also the brighter green too. Alright, smaller brush. Put that yellow green in there. So it separates itself. He's got green hair.
It's like the same way about it here, and then it's getting past, like right here. So this toy is a little.
Oh, yeah, let's get that on camera. What are we doing here? Why is the camera frozen? Oh my God, camera's frozen. How do I reset it? Oh. Did we fix it? Yay. What are we doing now?
Yeah, that's why I don't take kids easy. They're just like so like. Damn it. I don't want to the top.
That's alright. That's all I have, yeah. Nostalgia. Copycat videos every fucking where. Because everyone's scared to be original, especially if you're trying to make a living doing YouTube creativity. Yeah, I feel for other people like me who just never take off. I think that'll be another thing I talk about there's a lot of obscure YouTube channels that still are active and posting regularly that had just never found an audience. And they still, and some of these have been going on for a decade. There's one called Mustard Bus, which I like. You know, occasionally when I watch them. And like, you know, they're quite all over the place in terms of like topics. And I know that's probably what the issue is. Either they don't have time to sit down and think about it, or focus, or maybe don't even care, because they're just having fun, and that's their point. You know, that could be it. Yeah, let's get some light claws in here. Yeah, we'll make them whitish, gray, because the night. I want to make his pads green. Only makes sense the way things are going here. All right. All right. There we go. All right. Leave that alone. Get this guy's face here. Got this really, 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 really light tan. Add some white to this. That's looking more like it. go. All right.
Like, you come to the office, you don't have a job, bye bye clerks, bye bye everything, bye bye pension. And I'm like, his entire thing was remote.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up now. And continue some before I just go to bed here in the next hour or two. Let's darken some of these areas a little more. Get some shading.
Yeah, it's getting kind of expensive. And the property taxes in California, all California, is the highest it goes to 1.25%. Those two highest property taxes are Sacramento and LA County. So those two counties are the highest at 1.25%. Everywhere else is 1%. So honestly, that's a nothing burger for us. Yeah. Because we could literally get we could get $1 million house if we had the money, and it would still be cheaper than this fucking place. Like literally, like I literally joke about that with my friend Rowdy and Taro. I said literally we can get $1 million house and be cheaper. In property taxes. He's like, that's fucked up. He's like, that's really fucked up. Because I showed him our house. He's like, man. He's like, that's as big as our house, and this house is sold 5 other people. And he's just like, yeah, we got the house back in 20.
Right now, it's 5.
No, 4. But Rowdy and Taro, it's him and Taro, and then their 3 closest friends. And so this is in Sacramento, California.
Oh, okay.
And so they got the house back in 2017 for like $300,000. The house is worth like $750 now. And their property taxes in California go basically, if you bought the house, it's the price of the house, and then if it doubles in price, it's not going to be that huge.
Okay.
The cost is not going to be that cost. It's going to be basically like, it would be like half of that. So instead of paying taxes on $700,000, which is their house estimated value is now, by the auditor, they're paying more like on a 400, which is much better. So that's how it works too. So it's a lot better. And then where I went to the auditor and complained about our taxes going up, saying it's still unacceptable, but our house isn't worth this value, we can't afford this, they basically denied it. In California, if you ask, they can give you a 10-year hold on raising it. And it doesn't matter if you have a high income or not, they just do it.
All right, let's get this guy done.
She just shot up our fucking property next to
Yes, it's
so
every state.
pissed.
Alrighty.
Do that in every state. Ohio? Oh no, you can go to Ohio. You can
Mm.
The blue states are more.
Have I got people down here? Why do I got people talking and I'm not seeing it in my OBS? It's very fucking annoying. Hey, Flint Flakes. Bring up the see, most of them bring up beef for no reason. I've been watching a bunch of stuff from some Russian art school and learned way more that way. Art talk is such a bummer. Yeah. Yeah, most tutorials don't even count as tutorials. Yeah, YouTube fucking up here and not letting me see the chat. What the fuck?
So I'm actually
I'm sorry in general, well, I feel like I haven't drawn in years. So I know the feeling. Flint Flakes, I don't know if you're still here, but regardless, you know what? From like 2012 to 2015 almost, I drew almost nothing. Like, between working for a network marketing company, between that and having to move to Ohio, having to move to a room and an apartment, like pretty much like 3 years was like a dead year for me. I made like one painting, and that was it. You know, and we're talking like 3 years almost. It was disgusting. Shit, I need a bigger brush. Shit, actually, when I first moved out, I wasn't drawing anything for a lengthy amount of time.
What?
Yeah, I was gonna say Tara. She went through. She got three. Actually, yeah, three vehicles.
Yeah, Taro is.
Oh no, Tara, my friend, my best friend.
Oh.
So the first one was the guy came out of an alleyway at 45 miles an hour T-boned him. The second one in a Home Depot lot, the guy backs a forklift in the back of her car and lifts
I guess I just never, you know, I've always had that interest, and I know, like, in the long run, I'm gonna look back and think, oh, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I kept up with this. I'm glad I kept up with, like, the desire to draw and paint and do it anyways, regardless of success. Like, there are people out there that just give up because, like, well, not making any money off of it. And it's like, oh, God. If that was your only motivation, then sorry, you got nothing. You got nothing going on. No wonder why. And I get it. Like, I've seen people lose interest, like, immediately. Like, when it came to just doing editing work. You can't force yourself to do something you want to do. But I don't know. I think it's just a certain mindset that gets belted into people. Like, hey, if you're not making money, it's not worthwhile. Like, here's the reality of the arts too. 90% of independent movies, roughly the same for independent video games, don't make a profit. You know, movies are the most complicated art form, and you know, a lot of them just don't make any money. And even when the mainstream films that come around, outside of your handful of actors and directors, most people aren't making any money.
Yeah. With that being said, it is one of those things of
Cross conversation. But where was I? Oh yeah, it's the way that arts are treated. You know, people in the arts. Like, for me, I don't know. I just feel like I'm in the fucking, like, lonely lunch table a lot of times. It was only recently that I kind of felt like I wasn't there anymore when I went to those Discord hangouts, doing art with some other people who watched the Deep Fat Fried show. So, got lots of compliments, gave, you know, shared each other's art. Those were good. It's not even that long ago, it was like a few months ago. But yeah, those are great. I'd like to do more of those. Stupid YouTube. Fucking make me use my phone so I can see the chat 'cause it's not working on OBS. Sorry about that. Second becomes a job. It becomes too much for me, low key. Yeah, that's the kind of thing too. I almost, a lot of times, I know this may be sour grapes because, you know, I was never in the industry, and I probably never will be in the industry in any capacity. You know, I hear all these. There's a good documentary called Life After Pie that kind of shows just like how shitty artists are treated, and animators, effects artists. And I look at this one guy who's 60 years old, doesn't have a house, doesn't have a family, because he has to hop around different states, different countries sometimes because of the tax incentives their companies working for might want to capitalize on. So here you had a 60-year-old bachelor living out in hotel rooms, not because he can't afford a house, but just because he can't stay anywhere for a long time. Because the company will either move or fold, and he has to go find somewhere else. And when I think about, like, working for a major studio like Pixar or Blue Sky, haha, Blue Sky's dead. So yeah, that's another thing. But yeah, when you thinking about working for, like, a major studio like Pixar, right? So, like, how many movies does Pixar come out with a year? and shows. And how many other animation studios exist? And how many animated shows come out a year that are like good? And what are the chances like if you come in there as a I don't know, a storyboarder artist or concept artist, how long do you have to work on that shit before you even get a chance to pitch your own project? Are you going to have time to come up with a viable project to pitch? And even if you pitch your project, the primary focus is going to be whether or not they can make money on it, right? Is this something they can market? Is this something they can make toys out of? Is this something they can make a whole franchise and spin-offs of? Because I can tell you right now, the graphic novel I'm writing the second draft for right now, that's definitely not a franchise. It's definitely a one and done. Could it get big enough to warrant a movie? Maybe. I ain't gonna have the fucking money for that. I have to make my own popularity with it. And capitalists somehow managed to sell the idea to artists that they should accept worse conditions than every other skilled professions. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of freaky too when you hear about how many of these manga artists die in their 50s. Like recently, the Berserk artist died, and I think yeah, the Dragon Ball artist died. He was not that old either. Pretty sure my dad's still older than him when he passed. It's like, what is Japan doing to their artists? And as Eye Patch Wolf, I think as Eye Patch Wolf had said it, that Japan eats artists and shits manga. You got animators in Japan that have to beg fans for donations so they can afford rent. Comic book artists here oftentimes have separate jobs, like me, for instance. But you know, I'm not a famous comic book artist. I'm talking about like actual successful, known comic book artists. Some of them have to have like side gigs and regular work. Probably even hourly work. I think that's the other thing I wanted to mention too, is just the drain, you know, the creative drain. If I'm working for a fucking car company making ads and billboard ads, gross shit like that, and then I have to come home and try to like muster up the creative drive to work on more design projects and writing scripts and stuff. I get it, you know, you gotta have the experience to get better. And so that's why I rely on, you know, actual experts who've been in the field, giving advice. I've been going through some old books of mine, like Making Comics from Scott McCloud. He has a good list of references when it comes to books to learn about perspective and facial expressions. We just making Lore Olympus and calling it a day. You know what? I guess his tone would be green. Let's give him, I don't know, let's give him more of a grassy green tone, I guess. Oop. I've been keeping this going now. Pressure can kill creativity, though sometimes the lack of pressure does too. Yeah, exactly. For me, since I am pretty much my own boss, I've gotten pretty rigid in my routine. You know, I go to work, I get up in the morning, walk dog, go to work, you know, my regular job. Come home as soon as possible, start a little game stream. That kind of like helps me unwind. I keep it, you know, keep those short, and then I work on something like this, or a video, and you know I have to prioritize. So like, you know, the more I'm working on like the commentary videos, the less time I'm drawing. So I figured, hey, you know what? Might as well just start keeping like a little bit of like a bullet point journal, so I can come up with topics on the fly and commentate that way on live streams, so I can keep the live streams interesting as opposed to just me sitting here painting in silence. And You know, occasionally someone will come on and be like, "Oh, that's good looking," and then leave. You know. Kind of figured, okay, wait a minute. I should probably teach myself to have a conversation with myself. So, and not all advice I come across is bad, you know. I'm part of this one program called Vanguard. He's like a YouTuber. He's got a bunch of people. We get together every weekend and we like workshop ideas and give each other advice and tips and stuff and from experience. You know, it's all very laid back and friendly for the most part. Very lefty, but not exclusively lefty. I know the head person does vet people before he lets them in to make sure they're not bad actors or just, you know, lacking drive or interest. Alright, let's get that in there. And so yeah, I had to just, I try to list out, I have a little whiteboard. I list out the projects I want to focus on. Them like priority wise, like the most important ones I want to get done. Because I figured it comes back to that typical biographical pick, Walk the Line, where Johnny Cash is asked by one of these producers, like, okay, if you had one song left, you're going to die, and you only had one song to sing, what would that song be? And I kind of like been trying to apply that to every major thing I do. I mean, obviously I don't want this to be the last thing I do before I die. I have my books and stuff, but you know, I want to also try to get my name out there, so I have to try to get commissions out and try to test myself to see if I can get them in a timely manner while also working on my own personal projects that I want to see done. And so, you know, I'll kind of put things in a row, in a line. I do the all ages book. Got to do the other parody comic before working on the next one. And so forth, and so forth. Yes? Who's it? Is that for me?
Yes.
Yay!
Look at. I don't want to interrupt your latch.
Oh, you're fine.
Check it out. We get time.
Okay. Don't freeze! I got really into indie animation on YouTube. Glitch Productions shows are really good on writing, even though I don't always like the looks. Yeah. I mean, I need to watch more of those things. I know they got several series. Even when it sucks, even when like there's an indie animation, I'm just like, ugh. I'm just glad that it's there in the end. Because you can't really, it's not really, I guess you could critique it and criticize it in like a video essay kind of format, but it just seems kind of silly and punching down to do that as opposed to like a multi-million-dollar project. It's more of like something you would maybe email a person on if you have like some advice that might help them, or at least leave a productive comment on it. And hopefully the creators has enough know-it-all to not be defensive when it comes to critique. That was one, yeah, when it came to working for Onion Nuggets and doing the editing projects for them, you know, the night I got picked up for it, that was the night I realized I was just underestimating my abilities. Because when I hear Scotty from Deep Fat Fried say that outside of a few handful of professionals, when it came to editing their videos, and artists, outside of a few handful of professionals, it's been mainly Nightmare City. It's like, really? I mean, like, I had a issue with like the way I was making thumbnails, and you know, I only have so much time. I couldn't have any, and I wasn't improving that much, so they came up with a whole elaborate document listing out all the issues they had with my thumbnails. Like, I'm talking about a multi-page document. Like, you should do this, you should do this better, this is what's wrong with what you're doing. And I'm like, okay, I'll take that to heart, and I, you know, immediately improved. It's like, ah, I see that. You know, sometimes you definitely, you always need some outside looking in. Even this project, like, I had my husband's at least critique it and say, oh yeah, you know, the hooves look weird, making it like a toe, as opposed to just like a regular hoof. So yeah, I went in and corrected that. It's like, oh yeah, that would look better, and it does look better. Just put in the effort. You have to beat yourself up over it. I never done a scene like this. I never done a fireworks scene, so I was just looking up tutorials all the time, all over the place, about how to do fireworks in watercolor. And it just comes to a point where it's like, well, either gonna do it or not. That beard. Oh, he does have a little tuffle green beard there. Oh, well, I can correct that in a minute here. Find some, maybe in the color pencil face here. Pretty much done getting these characters together. I just need to shade that guy a little bit more. Yeah, if it's dark here, just be a little more yellow. And probably have to add a little more brown to it. Oh, and he's got a dark patch around his eye. Switch it up. This is right eye, yep, okay, good. Let that sit there for a bit and dry. Most being a professional is just throwing yourself into it and trying to get lucky, changing tactics till every fail, yeah. And not being unreasonable about it. Like, the reason why... Like, the thing about the previous job was, like, the editor left. The previous editor left for Onion Nuggets because they did a bunch of shit that no one asked them to do, and they expected to get paid for it. Like, when I got into it, I went into the mindset of, like, I want to be irreplaceable. Like, I want to do more than just the bare minimum. But at the same time, you know, not break yourself. But I also, like, I'm not gonna use that as, like, something I hold over the head unless I feel like I'm being mistreated. That's just silly. And, you know, I just knew I could do more than just what was expected of me without, you know, taking extra time and having to take more effort than was called for. And so, yeah, I did just that as much as I could. And, you know I'm not dependent on whether that channel is successful or not. But at the same time, I know, and I'll give them props, they even told me without saying anything, without me saying anything, I mean, they even told me, like, yeah, thank you for, you definitely add up our personality and everything to, you know, what you're doing. You know, that was right before they critiqued my thumbnail work. You know, gave me my pointers that I needed to improve. You know, I've had people ghost me after asking me to do some things and talking big ideas. But yes.
Do you know where the other wet wipes are? Can you bring one up? Because the bathroom's missing one.
They're in the guest bedroom, right in front of the kitchen. They're in the whole box there.
Okay.
I mean, I can grab one for you in a minute. Where you need it? Oh, that one? Okay. Yeah, so let me get this in here. Otherwise, it's not going to look right.
Wow.
We have to add a little brown. Mix a little brown in there. Should be dry enough. Yep, okay, so I've learned too that the acrylic inking does maintain itself when it comes to watercolor, which is what I was hoping for. And the other thing, reason why I was looking forward to doing it this way too for this commission is because I want to do my book this way. So, might as well do it on something, practice on something that's, you know, not as endearing. In case I, you know, fuck it up, and then I learn something when it comes to the major project I have in mind. That's probably going to take me a couple years. And who knows if anything will come from it. The point is that I'm making it, and I make it, and I finish it. Crap, I gotta grab wet wipes. Gotta let this go for a minute. Gotta paint this up. There we go. Those look like blue jeans at night. Alright. You got some veiny hands. You need to eat. I need to eat. I've had these veiny hands ever since I was like a preteen. I'm 150 pounds at 39. Yeah, some of the kids used to laugh at me and call me a heroin addict. It's like, well, if you're a heroin addict, you don't have any veins. So, I mean, that makes no sense. The crazy thing is though, is like if I eat like a bunch of McDonald's and shit and start eating more fatty foods, I'll probably just end up just clogging up before I get fat. That's probably what would happen. You see me having a fucking heart attack. And believe me, I don't eat the healthiest either. So, you know, I probably should keep that in check a little bit more. Yeah, my dad was always skinny too. Comparison. He did widen up a bit in his like middle years of 40, so maybe I'll start doing that. You know, metabolism slows down and all that around this time, so it's probably going to hit that period for me. As far as my veiny hands though, I don't know. It's probably always going to be there. Once they start turning blue, though, might be an issue. Nothing wrong with eating 10 McDonald's off the dollar menu back in 2010. Yeah, no shit. I used to live off that. Back when I was younger and having too many credit cards and part-time job, working $9 an hour or $8 an hour or whatever the fuck. Dollar menu, man. So I lasted for the next 2 weeks. Eating like 1 or 2 McDoubles. Then the regular dinner at home from my parents. From mommy. Now I just try to avoid that as much as I can. Like, I don't ever drink soda. I'll have like a Monster Rehab, I'll have a Celsius, I'll have a Bywater. When it comes to like soda and shit, I avoid that shit as much as I can now. I'm lucky if I have more than one in a year. I think this year, it's only been 1 month. Last year, I may have had maybe 3. And even then, when I have like a soda, I can't finish it. Not even a medium. It's usually just medium as a default. Yeah, I can't even handle a medium. Usually like a third done, and that's it. No fucking way, man. Shitty poison water, drinking all that. I used to drink that all the time too as a kid. Addicted to Coke. Well, I was like that up until fucking 2015. Say around there, that's when we started making an effort to just stop drinking soda and pop. It's like, yeah. Fuck that. Fuck that stuff. Poison water. It was always meant to just be a dessert drink. It was never meant to just be a drink. That's the thing too. People catch. Well, you have to make an effort to kind of figure that out. You have to look up history and shit. Like, yeah, it used to just be something like a milkshake, on par with that. You know, it's not something you're meant to just drink all the time. But you know, these companies, the Coke and all them, try to sell it that way. They sponsor schools and get their shit in there. And I don't know what they're going to do in the future. Like, what are they going to do as like profits go down, as more people like go away from this shit on their own? Because they realize they see what it does to their insides. Like almost everyone I met when I worked with seniors was diabetic in some way or form. Some more severe than others. But you know, especially since there's no incentive anymore for fast food, right? I did Taco Bell the other day. And it's like $20 fucking for 2 chalupas and a quesadilla. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, that's pretty much the price of any sit-down restaurant now. Bob Evans is pretty much that price. Not that they're that much better for food-wise, but still. Maybe you have time to cook your own. You know, it's even better. And probably wouldn't cost you that much either. Of course, you know, I don't have hours to cook my own shit, so, you know, it's all mostly sandwiches for me. Mostly sandwiches. Just try and be wary of that stuff. Too many of my elders said when they see me eating a bunch of McDonald's and shit. Too many of my elders like, oh yeah, you'll you'll feel it later on in life. It's like, oh, maybe I'll try not to. Because like, so many people will make the excuse like, well, you're just gonna die anyways. It's like, okay, well, you know how many people like didn't die in their 50s and 60s? Like, you may still live up to your 50s and 60s eating all that shit. I might still live there, but, like, you know, it can be the difference between being able to walk around, like, normal, or having to use a walker, or having to use a, you know, wheelchair, or just not being able to get up at all. Because it's all that, you know, processed food finally took its toll on you. And look, I'm not gonna shame anyone for what their diet choices are. You know, everyone can freely eat as they please. But I do feel like that knowledge should be out there. And I'm sorry, you know, for all these libertarians out there, but you know, these companies do need to be held accountable for for this stuff they put in their food. They don't have to put into, like, all the sugar, all the corn syrup, certain dyes that RFK Jr. didn't bother to ban, like most of them, that are just not necessary. It's like, come on. Do some enforcing here. I'm not gonna feel much like freedom if you can't even get out of your fucking chair. Like, if I get diabetes, it's a lot harder for someone like me than it is for someone who's actually overweight to manage. So, you know, if I don't watch out, or if I just give up, or just whatever, I can just lose a few limbs or two. If you lose a few toes, like some people I met have. So I'd rather not have that happen. Alright. I think I'm pretty much near the point of no return here. Well, there's actually one more thing I needed to do. I need to paint one more dark layer on here. Let's put some blue back in there. And put a little black. I want to do that sky one more time. There we go. Alright, so bigger brush first. Take those some water spots. It's hard to see exactly what those water spots are when your first gets on here. It's like, I guess I'll have to see what that is later after I'm done. Yeah, fucking darken this up a bit. Alright. Let's dry for a bit. Got a call. Well, not yet. I got one more thing I want to do. I want to get this close to as done as I can. Before I send a photo to the commissioner again. Commissioner. Batman, it's the commissioner. There. Yeah, I was worried about the paint like covering up all the ink lines, but definitely watercolor is the way to go. Definitely kept those all intact. Too much corn syrup and everything in America, yeah. Alright. Want to make this a little more red. There we go. So it's not quite done yet. I'm going to have to do something with these fireworks. It was covered in, you know, art masking stuff, so I got to take that off, see where the whites are, see where all the other areas are that I can improve on here. But other than that, looking pretty good. Alright, I gotta wrap up. Sorry for the delay in conversation there, Nighttime, and Red Gladius, and Flint Flakes. But yeah, thanks for coming by. Alright. Let's... adjust yourself. There we go. Alright. Same routine tomorrow. Get up, go to work, come back, game, and then art and / edit. That's how we're getting shit done. I gotta get ready for Motor City FurCon in 3 weeks. I gotta get my setup done. I gotta get my stickers all cut up. I got a bunch of them printed and laminated. That's another thing. I gotta keep going, keep up on. So I'm prepared. But, yeah, that's it. Thanks for coming.